Good afternoon and welcome to the Senate Committee on Education. Today is Monday, April 25th, and it's about 1:37 p.m. We are in hearing room 225. This meeting, including the audio and video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You'll find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. This Zoom meeting and YouTube live stream will include the 1:30 p.m. agenda for the Committee on Education. And as Vice Chair, I am chairing the meeting due to unforeseen circumstances. Our Education Chair may be here later. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to major technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Tuesday, April 26th at 3 p.m. in room 229, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website.
David.
I'd like to take this time to remind our testifiers that due to time restrictions on our hearings, we will be limiting testimony to 1 minute per testifier per bill. For people participating remotely, please remain muted and the video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. When I call your name, unmute yourself and your time will begin. After your minute is completed, staff will mute you so that we can move on and move this hearing along in an orderly and efficient manner. So with that, we would like to introduce the members of the Education Committee, Senator Drew Kanuha, and I understand Senator Favela will shortly be here as well. Starting with the first item on the agenda is HCR 7 HD1, urging the Hilo High School Community Council to recommend the Hilo High School gym be named after Albert and Lawrence Magliguis. How do you say that, Senator? Since it's your area. Magliguis? Magliguis? Okay, let's see. And
is it
Lester?
Yes.
Seto?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Seto, please proceed. You have a testimony.
Thank you. Good afternoon, honorable senators of the Education Committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of HCR 7. My name is Lester Seto, currently a resident of Waikoloa on Hawaii Island, but I was born and raised in Hilo, graduated of Hilo High School. I'm one of many supporters who are urging the Hilo High School Community Council to please name the relatively new Hilo High School gym in honor of coaches and brothers Al and Larry Manlinguis. There are many reasons for this, which are found in the testimony, and I know I just have already, less than a half a minute. So if you would go over those, please, that would be very important. May I just add a little personal information there is because Coach Larry Manlinguis died in 2007 at the early age of 65 while still in the position of head coach. And because Coach Al Manlinguis, his brother, is 92 years, and many say they'd like to honor him while he is still living, we urge the Senate to please pass HCR 7 because your endorsement will help greatly to influence the Hilo High School Community Council to recommend that the name of their gym be given in honor to the Manlinguis brothers. So thank you very much for considering our testimony.
Thank you very much. There is no one else here testifying for this measure. So is there any questions? I do have one question. So at this point, Mr. Seto, is it that the high school council does not want to name it?
I would say they are those who are not in favor. We don't have a feel as to whether the majority are for it or against it. So we don't know. That's why we really feel the need to get as many supporters as we can. Yes, but they are.
Is there other names that are being circulated?
They are, yes. There are other names. There is a volleyball coach of the women's team who has won 2 state championships, but her tenure is not as long as the 50 years, consecutive years of the Melingus brothers. And some want to name the gym after the legendary coach, Afuk. His name would certainly be the prominent one for the new gym, but Coach Afuk already has his name on the Hilo Civic Auditorium. The Hilo Civic Auditorium is called the Chinen Afuk Civic Auditorium, and that venue is, of course, much more prominent and bigger than the Hilo High School gym. Those are the only two names I've heard so far.
I guess my concern is that we're inserting ourselves into a process, not knowing all the other names, and then, trying to pick one over the other, or like you said, influence the group in picking, when I don't know that we in the committee even looked at all of the names and then choosing one over the other. I'm sure there's others that might want to ask that, it be named after one of the others. And the fact that the testimony, only receiving your testimony at this point, raises some concerns. So I don't know if Senator of the district had anything to add.
I'm on the other side of the island.
You're on the other side of the island. Okay, we may want to ask the senator from that district to weigh in on this. So I hope you can understand that.
I can understand it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. We will move
You're
on
welcome.
to the next item. Next, HCR 51, House Draft 1, requesting the Department of Education to prioritize funding for air conditioning in schools on Hawaii Island that are regularly affected by VOG. Testifying is Keith Hayashi for Hawaii State DOE. Randall Tanaka, are you here? Yes. Welcome, Randall.
Hello, Senator, members of the committee. Thank you very much for your time today. Yes, we in fact have prioritized since the volcanic eruption a few years ago. Last year, we introduced more air filters to help mitigate not only the COVID situation, but generally we knew that VOG will be an ongoing issue. We have introduced 594 air purifiers in all the rooms, classrooms in the Keao and Honoka'a and Hilo complexes. We continue to move forward in other mitigation issues, such as air conditioning units with filters. So we continue to progress with the focus on that area because of VOG. We support the measure.
Okay, thank you. We have Damian Chang, individual, in support, and no other testifiers. I forgot to say, if there's anyone here wishing to testify on the measures, please come forward or on Zoom. Hearing none, any questions? Hearing no questions, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, and that's HCR 74. This is urging the Board of Education to rename the Castle High School football field after former Representative Ken Ito. And we have Ron Hahn in support, and he is not available. No one else to ask questions for, so we will move on. We are on House Concurrent Resolutions 56, House Draft 1, requesting Department of Education to implement a Filipino history, culture, and identity social studies course for high school students. We have a number of testifiers, Keith Hayashi, Interim Superintendent, Terry Ushijima, are you here? Oh, there he is, in person. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chair and member of the committee. Raymond Fujino on behalf of Interim Superintendent Keith Hayashi. The department will stand on its written testimony, offering comments.
Okay, and basically, can you just share what that gist of the comments is?
I'm going to call up our social studies specialist, Rosanna Fukuda,
Okay.
who has more extensive knowledge of this. Nice mask, by the way.
Yeah, OIA.
Hello, Vice Chair and member of the committee.
Can you speak out?
I'm
speak a little
Rosanna
louder?
Bakuda, Social Studies Specialist, Hawaii Department of Education. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, just a gist of what you're supporting, you're non-supporting. I know you said comments, so
Yes.
yes, would you like to explain to the public?
Did you have, I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you want to explain to the public your testimony? Are you in support? Are you opposed?
We're offering comments
Yes, and the
we are,
comments is, what's the gist of your
we're
comments?
saying that there are mechanisms in place for any school in the state to create such a course, and that we even have something called directed studies that can certainly be used by any school in the state that wishes to make detailed study of such a course. So that this measure is not needed at this time because we have those mechanisms in place. Should a school want to create such a course, we would entertain that.
Okay, but this is a resolution, so you're not required to do so, but it is requesting it if in fact they're able to.
So the mechanisms in place would be for an elective course. Yes. Should a school put that forth, we do have procedures for schools to be able to create courses.
Okay, any questions?
Has the school ever gone through that action?
I'm sorry?
Has the school ever gone through that action, that process?
They have not in this particular course, but schools, yes, they take advantage of that and create courses. Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next testifying is Amy Agbayani. Testifying for Hawaii Friends of Civil Rights. and
Thank you
support.
very much for this opportunity to testify in strong support of this resolution. We believe that it will benefit Filipino students as well as students who are not of Filipino heritage learn about Hawaii and U.S. history. And we appreciate the Department of Education identifying the fact that there are mechanisms to do this, and we will hopefully encourage people to use these mechanisms. But obviously, it hasn't been used for this area, and so I think this resolution requesting them to pay attention to the largest ethnic group in the public schools is appropriate.
Okay, thank you. We have Patricia Halagal. Welcome, Patricia.
Aloha, thank you, Vice Chair Mercado Kim and Senator Kanuha. My name is Patricia Halagao, and I'm a professor at the UH College of Education, testifying on behalf of the Tinalak Filipino Education Council. You may read our full testimony online in support of the resolution, research backing curriculum that reflects the community we serve. But what I'm here for really is more to listen to the students who you'll hear expressing that they feel invisible in their education, and a call for an education that reflects them. Their story is like many of us who did not learn about our history, culture, and identities until we went to college. But what's so exciting is that these students are actually doing something about this and taking education into their own hands. So I want to lift up the Filipino Curriculum Project. They're a group of diverse team of public and private high school students, immigrant, local-born mix, who are designing the kind of curriculum that they want to learn in school. And I'm so proud of them for doing what they're doing and opening the doors for other underrepresented groups. These are our future teachers. And so I appreciate the wide support, community, and multi-ethnic support of the resolution. And thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much. Raymart Belotti.
Yes,
Raymart?
I'm here.
Okay, welcome.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you for allowing me to testify. My name is Raymar Billote. I am a recent graduate from Moipao High School. I am testifying on behalf of the Filipino Curriculum Project, a public and private school collaboration that advocates for Filipino representation in our high school education. We strongly support this resolution so that the next generation of Filipinos in Hawaii will grow up seeing themselves in school, and that they will grow up recognizing the history and culture of the Philippines that most social studies curricula have long overlooked. And we believe that representation does matter. The whole Filipino Curriculum Project team also hopes that this resolution will open the door for Philippine representation and other ethnic groups on the island, such as Samoa, Tonga, Portuguese, Hawaiian, and many more. As a brother, I support this resolution because I want my younger sister and the next generation to grow up in a community where they're seen and valued. As a secondary education major, I support this resolution because I know that education can make students feel seen and worthy, and that education should be one of those endless gateways to making every individual proud of their own ethnic identity. And again, thank you for maraming salamat for giving me this opportunity to testify. Thank you.
Thank you. Caitlin Agnes,
Hello.
you Caitlin, welcome Caitlin.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Jane Agnes. I'm a recent graduate from Hawai'i High School and one of the members of the Filipino Curriculum Project that I'm here to testify for. And as a second generation immigrant from the Philippines, I didn't grow up learning my family's language or knowing the country's history at all. For these reasons, I felt lost saying that I'm Filipino American. When I got to high school, I realized that there's so many other people who feel the same way as I do, and it's shocking to see that. I joined this project because I don't want future generations of Filipinos in Hawaii to feel the same way as I do. Supporting this bill will also benefit those who aren't Filipino because the Philippines culture includes vast similarities with other ethnicities like the Polynesian Islands. This curriculum will allow every student who chooses to take this class to embrace their culture and self-identity. As a group, we already have received a lot of support from the DOE by connecting with other education leaders and talking to various communities in Hawaii. We hope to gain your support as well. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Charlene Bumanglang.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity to testify here in strong support of this resolution on requesting that the Department of Education implement a Filipino history, culture, and identity social studies course for high school students. My name is Charlene Bumanglag, and I'm testifying as an individual. I do not represent the university. However, I teach at the university level and have actually taught Filipinos in Hawaii, a credit-bearing course offered through the Ethnic Studies Department at the University of Hawaii in prior years. And among my enrolled students over several semesters were undergrads from Filipino backgrounds, part and full, as well as non-Filipino backgrounds. Some were from the continent, but many were actually schooled in Hawaii in the public school system and the private school system. And I'm in strong support here for this resolution because the significant impact is that it will be offered at the high school level rather than having students wait for university, where many actually do not have the opportunity to continue on to. So I just want to stand in strong support with the students here for this resolution. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Charlene. Our next testifier is Agnes Malate. Agnes?
Thank you, Vice Chair Mercado Kim, Senator Kanuha, and Senator Favela. I am a product of the public school system. I came here to the United States, to Hawaii, on a ship. So technically, I'm fresh off the boat, and I was part of that. I grew up in a time when it was very contentious to be an immigrant, and there was great divide between the locals and the immigrants. In my 9th grade year at Waipahu High School, I took an ethnic studies class, and we read about Queen Lili'uokalani's story, and that changed my perspective as to how I view the world and how I viewed myself in it. I was always yearning for information, for stories about Filipinos, but that was so lacking. And so I'm really in strong support of this resolution. I feel a stronger ethnic pride and identity will empower our youth to positively contribute to their communities. I direct the Health Careers Opportunity Program at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. There are many students who have come through there who are Filipinos, Hawaiians, and others from underrepresented groups. And it's just so encouraging and so inspiring to see when they talk about their culture and they talk about their background, that they light up when they feel that their culture is valued. The Health Careers Opportunity Program works with high school to college students.
Thank you. Thank you, Agnes. Appreciate your testimony. Leonard Florendo, president testifying for Sarilingawa Youth Council. And then we have about 18 others in support, individuals in support, and one with comments. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure, either by Zoom or in person? Hearing none, members, we're open for questions. And the two of you sitting in the back row there, I have to turn around. I don't know why. I'm on the firing squad here and you guys get to stay in the background. But any questions from members?
Oh, not so much questions.
Okay, Senator Favela.
It's just, it's very exciting to hear that, I went to this event last night, Saturday night, and it was for the Filipino women. It was a ball on their achievements and their accomplishments when being here as women and leaders in our state. The only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm not Filipino. I have Filipino nephews and family members. But every time, this is my second time, because of the pandemic, they didn't have it. Second time going to this event. And there's one thing that I can tell you right now is not lost, is their culture, especially when it comes to these women leaders. This event is held and just beautiful dresses. And, I finally got myself on barong, and looking at the festivities. And the reason why I share this is because when I went home, and to let you guys know, I came third runner-up for the barong contest. Just to let you know, thank you. But the reason why I say this, the sadness that I feel as a Hawaiian, as a Portuguese, and Japanese, I see the culture of the Filipino culture strong. I understand they want to do the language in the schools, and I think that is great. But there's one thing that I can tell you, when I listen to some of these kids, I don't know if they've ever been there. So I even told my staff and even some of my Hawaiian family, if they ever get somebody that offer them to go to this ball, they should go, because it's well put on, well organized, and they love to dance, love to dance. And I feel so proud to be there. I'm not a Filipino, but I feel proud to be a part of something that they kept their heritage so strong. And then at the same time, I feel sad for myself and for my heritage as a Hawaiian. That even though we see everything about Hawaii, we don't have that cultural gathering like the Filipinos did that night. So I'm glad that these kids stepping forward and everybody coming forward. But out there in Facebook land, what is it, Zoom land, or whatever you call it, we got to get together as all of the people of Hawaii too. Exactly what that one guy said. He's a brother, and he wants his sister to know all of these things. I like what he said, because he didn't say, and I'm proud because he said a couple of my races, Portuguese and Hawaiian. So I was very happy that he said that. But going forward, we need to have the DOE specify the actual needs in our multicultural. We cannot keep thinking mainland style, teaching mainland ways. Corn. I remember how to test about how much corn it would train across the street and whatever. I never knew nothing about corn in elementary. And the only train I knew was the train that never moved, ever. So those are the things that we gotta really, like they said, you gotta centralize teaching for the people in Hawaii, not the mainland style, because that's not gonna help us any here. But I'm proud, and like I said, I'm proud to go to the event, and I'm happy for these kids. I think they're doing a great job, and that I'm going to be pushing for other cultures too. It's awesome. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Favela. I certainly can understand that, because growing up, I was the only Korean Filipino student in my school, it seemed. Or I shouldn't say I was the only one, but certainly lacked. First, I was kind of embarrassed to say I was Filipino, because, they had all these stereotypes about Filipinos, and then there was nothing about Koreans, and there's still nothing, I think, that is being taught in the schools about the Korean culture as well. And so it took me to become an adult to understand all of that. But I just want to also make a point that, we are multicultural, and our schools should reflect that in the curriculum or in the electeds as well. So I think that all of the ethnic groups that contributed to who we are today should be there. So hopefully this is just one of many as to directing DOE that we're not trying to tell you what to teach, but that you folks look at that and look at how we can become more diverse in our curriculum. So if there are no other questions.
Just one more, just
yes,
reading the, is this going to be just specified for Farrington and Waipo? Oh, okay.
No.
Because they don't have a beach area.
No.
So I'll let you guys know.
It's a general across the board. And,
Thank you.
and again, you know, and as it was stated by each school, they do look at what they're going to offer. And, you know, those are things I'm sure a lot of thought go into it before they put it part of the curriculum. So with that, we will go into decision making, take a recess. To call the Education Committee back to order. We are on decision making. The recommendations will be to pass HCR 7, urging the Hilo High School community. I'm sorry, we're going to be deferring HCR 7. At this point, again, the committee feels that this is an issue that should be dealt with at that level. We don't know all the candidates. It's hard to take a stance for one family versus the other family at this point. So the recommendation is to defer. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Okay, HCR 51. This is requesting Department of Education to prioritize funding for air conditioning schools on the Hawaii Island that are regularly affected. The recommendation is to pass as is. Is there any discussion, members? Hearing none, if Senator Kanuha would take the vote.
Recommendation is to pass HCR 51 unamended. Chair Kidani is excused. Vice Chair Kim.
Aye.
Senator De La Cruz is excused. I vote aye. Senator Favela.
Aye.
3 ayes. Recommendations adopted.
Thank you. For House Concurrent Resolution 74, this is urging the Board of Ed to rename Castle High School after former Representative Ito. Again, I am very good friends with Representative Ito and feel he's very meritorious. However, the recommendation is to defer this measure. Again, it is the naming, and that's something that I think needs to be further discussed. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, so ordered. HCR 56, House Draft 1, requesting the Department of Education to implement a Filipino history, culture, and identity social studies course for high school students. Recommendation is to pass as is. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. And again, DOE, if you will just take a look at all of the cultures, we appreciate that. So with that, the chair votes aye.
3 members present, any with reservations, any in opposition. Recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you. And members, we are on a deferred agenda from April 13th, and this is advise and consent on several GMs. GM 784, this is for consideration confirmation the Early Learning Board, and 801, also the Board of Education. Okay, let's take it. I'm going to take it all in one motion. So GM 784, GM 801, GM 804, GM 802, GM 803, and GM 805. And again, these are for the Board of Education as well as the Early Learning Board. Is there any discussion, members? Hearing none, recommendation is to advise and consent.
Chair's recommendation on on said GMs are to advise and consent.
Chair votes aye.
Chair votes aye. Senator Kidani is excused. Senator Dela Cruz is excused. I vote aye. Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair recommendations adopted.
Okay, with that, that's the end of our agenda. We are